Knicks family, what's poppin' is your boy. And last night, the Knicks got blown out by the Portland Trail Blazers. And you guys were up with me till about 1:30 in the morning as we talked about this team and what the future looks like. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks have a chance. They have a chance to break this 10-game losing streak and not extend it to 11. And they have a chance to get off the snide because they play another team that are crabs in the bucket. They play another team that are crabs in the bucket. We're going to see if we get a chance. We'll see if we can defeat the Golden State Warriors. I'm not exactly sure we can, but we're going to give it a go. Before we do that, let's do a quick review of last night's game. The Knicks went into Portland thinking that maybe they had turned the corner. That's what Julius Randle said. After they played a tight game versus the Indiana Pacers, they thought maybe they turned the corner. Maybe, just maybe, something clicked with all the adversity and all that kind of stuff. Clearly it did not. Or maybe they were thinking a little bit. From what I understand, Coach Mike Miller, had a 2-hour practice where they put in some new sets. They're running some new things. Let's hope that that's part of the issue. Not exactly sure that it is, but I'm going to be optimistic here. The Knicks got blown out. They let Damian Lillard go crazy. I don't know if they let him go crazy. He just went crazy. The defense was terrible. Offensively, they couldn't buy a bucket. They couldn't hit a shot. It was like a lid was on the rim. We'll see if we can change it tonight. Let's take a listen to what Coach Mike Miller had to say about last night's performance and the hope that they can rebound tonight, get off the snide, and try to change what's been going on in New York because they've been blown out. They've been down 30 in 3 of the last 4 games, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously going before and after the firing of Coach David Fizdale. So let's take a listen to Coach Mike Miller.
Offensively, the Blazers just got off to a really hot start there in the first quarter. What did you see? What was the struggle in slowing Damian Lillard down?
Well, we tried some different things, and he made some shots. There were maybe a few of them we could have done something. Some of them, he made a lot of shots. He generated a lot of offense, and I thought part of that too, the fact that we were not making shots and he was, it kind of spiraled us a little bit in a direction we really didn't want to go in. And we were working to get out of it and get back to, it wasn't going to be, a one pass and a shot and it was going to go in. It wasn't going in, and we fought through that, trying to get back and move it a little bit and create some shots that way. And it's a difficult thing when someone's making shots and they're stretching the game, to stay patient offensively and keep doing that.
And offensively, when your guys are missing shots, when they're open look shots that these guys can typically make, how do you work them through that in real time?
It's difficult because you may have, in an 82-game schedule, you're going to have some nights where the ball just won't go in. And we found ourselves in that. We just kept trying, to attack the paint, spray it back out, drive a closeout, just try to make an extra pass. And that's a hard thing to do, particularly when they're scoring and stretching the game a little bit in the second quarter.
This is your first back-to-back with these guys, leading this team. What's your philosophy on how you get them ready for a quick turnaround tomorrow?
Well, I think we're thankful that we have this game tomorrow now to get a chance to get right back out and let's get a chance to play. We'll travel, we'll get there and try to put things back together in terms of get back out on the court, play the game, and let the game come to you. Just do all the things that the guys know what to do.
You seem, happy after that first game, a 1-point loss. I mean, what do you tell them after something like this? I mean, were you disappointed in some of the competitiveness and consistency that you've talked about?
I think one of the hardest things to do is when another team is going, particularly when Lillard is hitting threes and creating offense, to come back down the floor and try to move it, and play in it. Your instinct is to quick strike back. And when we went and maybe hit a quick strike and missed a few, then it's, it can spiral a little bit, and we got in that. And then even when, we had some possessions, shots that I'm confident we didn't make. So it was just one of those nights we were going to have to fight through it and find our way. I don't think it had anything to do with our effort, or, I think we kind of got away from things a little bit, and it was hard to get back in that groove.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to get back in that groove. As a matter of fact, they did not get back into that groove, or any groove. So we'll see. Like Coach Mike Miller said, it's kind of a good thing that they have tonight to try to rebound. You can quickly get that stink and that smell off of you. So let's take a look at tonight's game. And let's talk about it. See if there's anything that we can do to try to scratch out a win here. Because we're playing another team that is just as bad as us. And before I even get into it, people are going to look at the Warriors and they're going to look at the Knicks, and they're going to obviously compare the teams, right? They're going to talk about how, both teams are terrible and all that kind of stuff. But there's a stark difference between the New York Knicks and the Golden State Warriors, right? And you all already know what it is, but I'm going to say it anyway. Stark difference between these two teams. Because, see, the Golden State Warriors, they got a couple of guys waiting to come back. Right? This is a team that, if not for the injuries this season, would probably still be in playoff contention. Right? Most likely. As for the Knicks, well, and let me also say this, as far as the difference between the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks. The Golden State Warriors kind of understand how they want to play. Whether or not they have the talent to play that way, they understand how they want to play. They understand what they're trying to do on the floor. Because even though they have a new team, basically for this season, they have a new team and new players, it wouldn't make sense for Coach Steve Kerr, to change their entire philosophy based on these players. Because the players that they have now, they're temporary. These are temporary players. Okay? Some of these guys might stick for next year, but for the most part, they probably won't. Once you get Steph Curry, Klay Thompson back, we'll see what happens with D'Angelo Russell being there. And whoever they get in the draft. So that's a stark difference, which gives the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, an upper hand over the Knicks. That scares me a little bit in this game. Because they understand what they want to do. The coach understands what they want to do. What he wants these guys to do. That's a big difference. Makes a big difference in the game. Just understanding your philosophy, what you want to do, and how you want to play. It makes a huge difference in the game. And I think that might come into play tonight. But let's look at it. The Knicks play the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco tonight at the Chase Center at 10:30 p.m. Yes, another late game as the Knicks are on a West Coast trip. You take a look at the projected starters for tonight. Frank Ntilikina should be starting at point guard. And if I missed anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'll correct it. R.J. Barrett should be starting at shooting guard. At the 3, you got Marcus Morris. At the 4, you got Julius Randle. At the 5, Taj Gibson. For the Golden State Warriors, they're 5-20 on the season. They have one more win than the New York Knicks. Starting at point guard, D'Angelo Russell. At shooting guard, Glenn Robinson III. Small forward is Eric Pascal. At power forward is Draymond Green. And at center is Willie Cauley-Stein. A lot of guys that you're probably unfamiliar with. And, of course, Steph Curry is out. Klay Thompson is out. You know those guys are out. I didn't even bother to put the reason why they're out. You guys know. So you look at these matchups, and you look at who the Knicks have, and you look at who the Warriors have, and you say, the Knicks should at least be a little bit better. Maybe. But it's not to be. The Knicks are 4-20. The Golden State Warriors are 5-20. Team comparison, the Knicks, they're on a 10-game losing streak. And no, they're not 4-19. They're 4-20 on the season. The Golden State Warriors are actually only on a 1-game losing streak because they won not too long ago. The Knicks average 100 points per game. And if they score below 100 points per game tonight, or if they score below 100 points tonight, they'll be below 100 points per game on the season. Come on, man. Anyway, the Knicks average 100 points per game. They give up 111.1 points per game. They're shooting 41.8% from the field, 34.7% from 3. At one point, the Knicks were 8th in the league in three-point shooting. Now, no, they're not. They grab 44.6 rebounds per game. And they average 19.8 assists per game and 14.8 turnovers per game. The offensive rating is 101.3. That's 30th in the league. Their defensive rating is 112.5. That's 24th in the league. These guys are getting worse and worse and worse as we go. Pretty soon they'll have the offensive rating will be last and their defensive rating will be last. It'll be quite embarrassing if that happens. The Golden State Warriors, as I said, they're 5-20 on the season. They have a 1-game losing streak. Guess that's not a streak yet, but they've lost one game. They lost their last game. They average 104.6 points per game. They give up 113.8 points per game. They shoot 43.1% from the field, 33% from 3, and they grab 43.3 rebounds per game. They average 23.8 assists and 15 turnovers per game. The offensive rating is 103.3. That's 27th in the league. And their defensive rating is 113. That's 25th in the league. And like, I don't know if it was Mark or someone else who said it, but the Warriors play a fast style of game. Even though they're not good offensively, they still play fast. And that may bother the Knicks. It may bother the Knicks because the Knicks are a slow team. For the most part this season, they've been a slow team. We'll see. All right. We'll see. And actually, just a quick update for the Golden State Warriors. Eric Pascal is, he's a game time decision due to a hip injury. All right, so we'll see what happens there. And how Steve Kerr will plan to make any substitutions if Eric Pascal can't go tonight. Key matchup for the night, D'Angelo Russell and Frank Ntilikina. It's my key matchup. D'Angelo Russell, 6'4", 193 pounds, point guard. Averages 22 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 6.2 assists, and just under 1 steal per game. He's shooting 43.3% from the field and 35.2% from three. Frank Ntilikina, he had a rough job last night. He had to guard Damian Lillard. Now he's got to come and guard D'Angelo Russell, another point guard that can play some basketball, that can score the ball. Frank Ntilikina, 6'7", 200 pounds, guard/forward. His average is 6.2 points per game, 2 rebounds a game, 3.3 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. Shooting 37.7% from the field and 33.9% from three. And as we know right now at this moment, Mike Miller is going to continue to have Frank Ntilikina as the starting point guard. I know there were questions, even I had questions, on whether or not Mike Miller may decide to, put Elfrid Payton at that point guard spot. He seems to be happy with Frank. He feels like the team's been getting off to good starts. They didn't get off to a great. They didn't go off to a great start against Portland. It was okay, I guess, until Portland started going crazy and scoring all over the place. Okay. So we'll see how long that lasts. Frank Ntilikina can keep hold of that point guard spot. But listen, tell you what. Frank Ntilikina could be looking at the guy who replaces him at some point. Maybe. You never know. He could be facing him tonight. So if I'm Frank, listen, Frank, all these players, they hear the stories. They read the headlines, they read Twitter, they see Instagram, they see shows like this. So you better know that he is aware that D'Angelo Russell is a guy that the Knicks could have interest in. Show up, show out, Frank. Keys to the game. Number 1, respond. Back up the talk. We keep hearing this talk. That they got to respond. They got to remain professional. They got to play basketball regardless of what's going on. But then we keep getting blown out by 30. When is it going to be time for the players to back up the talk? Back it up. Make it happen on the floor. This is your opportunity. Because you're playing a team that is just as sorry as you. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors are thinking the same thing. While we're playing a team that's sorry. They got a chance right now to win 2 of their last 3 games. That's what they're looking at. We can go win 2 or 3 right now. Start to turn some things around. The Knicks got to come out and be desperate, man. I want the Knicks to blow these guys out the water. That's what I want. I really do. I don't think it's going to happen because we do not shoot well, but we need one. We need to blow somebody out the water. The Knicks must come out and be desperate. It's no time to relax, man. Come out and be desperate. Play with some desperation. And while you're doing that, don't take the Warriors for granted. Don't do it. Because if you take them for granted, because listen, I'm going to tell you now, the Knicks feel like they're better than their record indicates, which they're not, but they feel that way. I'm pretty sure they do. So if they feel like they're better than their record indicates, then that means they probably feel like they're better than the Warriors, which they shouldn't feel that way because they haven't done a damn thing to prove that or show that. They've been terrible. So don't take these guys for granted. They better come out and play. Because if they lose this one, and especially if they lose by double digits, that's going to be pretty embarrassing. That'll be the low point. If they get blown out by the Warriors, that might be rock bottom if they get blown out by the Warriors. Talk about crabs in a bucket. Stay disciplined. We need these guys to stay disciplined. Whatever it is that Mike Miller is teaching them, trying to teach them, stay disciplined. Continue to do it. Hopefully he's teaching them the right things. But stay disciplined. Try to be a disciplined team out there. Don't get in a one-on-one play. The Warriors don't play that style of basketball anyway. But, stay disciplined and try to focus on whatever your goals are. Focus on those goals. Stay disciplined. Focus on getting off the schneid. That's the first thing right there. Get off the schneid. Get off this losing streak. One way, let's take away, they got a lot of role players like us. And then one guy that can score. I mean, if you think about it, we should have, you got Marcus Morris, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle. These guys can score the basketball. Let's take away their role players. Sometimes I don't even know what to say. It's just been a crazy season for the Knicks. Let's take away their role players. Russell is really their only threat. D'Angelo Russell, maybe Eric Pascal, and he may not even play. Draymond Green's only averaging 8 points a game. Take away their role players. Let Frank Ntilikina deal with D'Angelo Russell. Okay? Now, maybe, just maybe make a bucket. I've heard through the grapevine that scoring the basketball is advantageous when you're playing this game. Somebody just told me that. Thought I'd pass it on to the Knicks and let them know. That's just a little tip, Knicks players. Scoring the basketball is advantageous to winning a basketball game. So I'm just letting you know. You win a basketball game if you score. All right? Maybe try it. Maybe try to get a bucket tonight. And how do we do that? Ball movement. Keep the ball moving. We talk about it all the time. Keep the ball moving. Mike Miller is talking about keeping the ball moving. Let's keep the ball moving. Let's try to keep things going. We're going to try to stay disciplined. See what Mike Miller is talking about. See what he's trying to teach them. He's trying to, he's got a few different sets in. So stay disciplined to those sets. Try to trust it. Stay disciplined to what you're doing on defense. That's where we are, folks. The New York Knicks at the Golden State Warriors tonight, 10:30 p.m. That's where we're at. We get to a phone call here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's good, Sam?
I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
I'm frustrated. I'm angry, upset. All of the above, man.
Nah, I feel you, man. I'm with you. Yeah, I think everybody is. Everybody feels the same way you feel right now, man.
Did you read the article?
Oh, which one is that?
Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne article?
Nah, I didn't get a chance to read it. I've been working on some other stuff all day, so I didn't get a chance to read it. What did it say?
Break it down for you?
Yeah, go ahead. Break it down to me.
All right, so basically, let me start off by saying, remember when Derrick Rose came out and said that he doesn't trust Mills, that Mills is a snake?
Yep.
All right, so I just wanted to start there. From that point on, I was looking at Steve Mills, because Mills is the only person that's been with the Knicks these last 20 years, except the 2 years that we have won. So I started looking at that, and then today, they dropped the bombshell with that article saying that Steve Mills is responsible for a lot of the stuff that's going on in the Knicks front office. Did you know that Steve Mills, remember David Griffin was going to come out for the vice president job to run the Knicks, right?
Yep.
That's when he was going to come out to run the Knicks. That's when Mills went behind the Knicks' back and signed Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
To that contract, yes. They signed him to that contract, and that's when Griffin looked and said, "Now, hold on. If I'm gonna be here, they're not gonna respect what I'm doing. They're not gonna let me run with full autonomy." So he still went on and he still went to the meeting. He still had the meeting, and when he had the meeting, he respectfully told them, "I don't want nothing to do with it," because Steve Mills. Because Steve Mills knew that if Griffin was going to be the one in charge, he was going to have full say and direct step to Dolan. So then what Mills did, he went out and he signed Perry, because Perry had just been fired from Sacramento. Then he had another job that wasn't like a good job. So he went and signed Perry because he knew Perry wasn't a high enough name brand or a big enough name that was gonna have direct access to Dolan, right?
Right.
To be over Mills. Then Mills, if you remember, Mills with the Porzingis situation. Remember, Porzingis wanted to speak directly to Dolan.
Uh-huh.
And Mills didn't allow that to happen. He told them no, that nobody talks to Dolan or whatever the case was. And behind that, Mills was already had a deal set with the Mavs, and KP found out about it, and he went to Dolan, and he said, he went to Mills, and he said, if y'all gonna trade me, that's when he gave him the list of the 4 teams he wanted to go to. Instead, Dolan already had the deal set in place, and he just traded him. That's why it happened in less than 5 minutes or whatever it was that it was reported previously.
Yeah, but I think we knew that they already had that deal in place. And I remember that with Griffin back in the day.
Yeah, but the thing was, if you remember, Mills said that KP came into the offense and demanded a trade. That wasn't what happened. That wasn't what they're reporting. They're reporting they already had the deal. KP found out about it, went to them and asked them about it. They said yes. Gave him a list of teams. He said, if y'all gonna deal me, at least deal me to these teams, which says that Dolan lied. Mills lied to the fan base.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. Bottom line is, we know Steve Mills is the common denominator behind all of this.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Is Mills.
We know that he is the common denominator behind it all.
Mills. And I don't know if he's ever gonna see. I hope he sees it with this article. I hope he lets him go, because I'm at a point that if this dude stays, I'm gonna leave. I can't. I'm gonna support the team. I'm gonna hope they win. I'm gonna be a Knicks fan. That's in my blood. But if this dude stays, I'm gonna look for another team to root for, because I can't stay with this dude being here, man. And then why are they gonna allow them to look for another coach? You don't do that. You gotta pick the front office first before allowing them to pick another coach, bro.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
About the coach, which everybody needs to start focusing on is the front office before the coach.
I definitely agree with you there. The only thing I can say is let's see what happens, after the season. See if he lets him go see if he lets him go and then gets a new coach. Lets him go, gets a new front office, and then the coach. I don't know, man.
It's dirty waters in the Knicks right now, man. And I don't even want to be. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I just had to get that off my chest, man. It was a therapy session for me.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you, bro. Peace. And man, Steve Mills, man, he's behind a lot. Someone called last night and said that they thought Steve Mills was a stand-up dude. I don't know. I don't think he is. Does he have connections and stuff around the NBA? Maybe. I can't. Look. I'll just say this. I don't want to say I don't think he is. I can't speak to the guy's character, right? Because I don't know him personally. I'm not inside. I can't speak to his character. The only thing I can say for a fact is that he's been part of all of the Knicks' terribleness, or whatever you want to say. Everything that you know about the Knicks over the last 20 years, he's been part of it. That's the only thing I can say. I'm not going to speak up, about him personally and this and that, because I don't know the dude. I can only say he's been part of a lot of bad Knicks seasons, a bad governance of the New York Knicks. That's all I can say. It is what it is. Let me get to another call. Caller, you're on Live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, Sam, this is Kevin from Plainfield, not Steve Mills. How you doing?
Yeah, you probably definitely don't want to be Steve Mills right now.
Oh, heck no. I wouldn't take that job if you gave me like astronomical amount of money, because that's the heaviest weight to have, being the president of the New York Knicks, man. How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Cool.
You definitely don't want to be.
I watched that game last night. Just a couple of things. I didn't let you know. I didn't stay to see the fourth quarter because I knew what was, what
before you get
been done and everything. So
before you get started, before you get started, can I say one thing? I'm really tired of hashing like all of the KP stuff, man, because you can say, reports can come out that KP wanted out. Reports can come out that he didn't want out. I'm going to say this, just from stuff that I've seen personally, right? And other stuff, people that I talk to personally, that seen some things happening with KP, clearly said when he came in his second season, everything about him changed. He went from being a humble kid to a diva. Everything about him changed. You know what I'm saying? So, people can say whatever they want, all this junk. I know what I've heard from people who were close up about, his change. You know what I'm saying? And what they seen in him and his connection with the new teammates that he had. You know what I'm saying? And so that's coming from people that I trust, that I talk to.
Right. And like I keep saying, man, your information and your knowledge and everything, I trust that more than a lot of these other people that are out there. So I'm totally with that. Couple of things. Number one, I'm done with Dennis Smith Jr. I'm just done. I don't know what it is about this, about him. I know that he lost his stepmom and everything, but and I'm not the one to say, if he, no one can get over, losing somebody and everything. But it just seems like his mind is really not there. And this was the guy that in that draft that everybody was really upset that Phil took Frank over him. And now that he's with us, it's like, where was this, this explosiveness? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, what to say about him and everything. Number two, Morris and Randall don't fit. One's got to come off the bench and one's got to start. That's the way I look at it. And of course, you're not going to fit Randall because that's who you gave all the money to, and you got to save face. But now that Mike Miller's, the coach, he really needs to look at that. And if he has any, what's the word for it? If he has any aspirations of being the next head coach, he's got to make tough decisions. That would be his toughest decision than, of sitting Randall. Now, I don't know if you should sit Randall. I don't know if you should sit Morris, but one of them's got to sit. So that's the way I look at that. And when I heard your the replay on the on YouTube about cleaning the house, I totally agree, except that I don't want to get rid of the past Knicks because they have really nothing to do with the basketball operations, as far as picking players and everything like that. So like John Starks, Allen Houston. Well, I don't know about Allen Houston. I think he has a little bit to do with it. Everything.
Little bit.
But Larry Johnson and all them, I want to see them stay with the organization. But and I also want to see Perry stay with the organization as well. I don't know if he had the final say so with all the free agents that we got, but as far as finding unpolished talent, young talent like Mitchell Robinson, Alonzo Trier, and Iggy, and this one Kenny Wooten that's in the G League right now, who I'm really high on, he tapped those. So that's why I want him. That's why I want Perry to stay and everything. And
see, I really agree with you about Larry Johnson and John Starks and those guys. I want them guys to stay too. My only thing is, I mean, but I agree with people who say you just got to clean house. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have anybody that, I don't think John Starks, Larry Johnson, I don't think they really have too much connection with James Dolan. Right? Yeah. I don't think they do. I don't think they do. But if they do have, I'm sure they've met him. If they have any kind of connection, then if I'm the general manager, I'm a little bit like, okay, is this guy talking to James Dolan about what's going on? Now, they may not even be in the front office though, so they may not even be in those meetings making decisions. So
that's what I was pretty much getting out of that. So when I heard it when I was driving to work and everything, I was like, oh, I don't.
But Scott Perry,
I'm not too sure about that too much, but I do agree about the trainers, the assistant coaches. Even though I would like Mike Miller to stay with the team, because all he's really doing is just coaching team right now. I mean, yeah, he was thrust into this head coaching position, but he was just an assistant coach. So I don't want to see him leave and everything.
Yeah, and but Scott Perry would have to go. I think Scott
Mike
would have
Miller,
to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. You gonna say something?
Now I was saying Scott would have to go. I think
right.
Scott would have to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that totally. One thing I could say about Mike Miller, a little wrinkle, and it's just like a tiny sample size. I didn't see it last night, but the first game, he was 12. He was a +9 and out of timeouts, getting progress out of timeouts. He was a +9. Bisdale was a -2.4 out of all the games this year. That was a stat that was provided to me by Tommy D. So that's on Twitter. So that was just a small sample that you could see a little bit that out of timeouts, something is happening. They're getting points or they're getting, stops or whatever. But it's just a small step. So we'll see what happens tonight. I mean, I hope we get a win tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll probably see the first half and then, go to sleep and everything. But
yeah, I'll be up for the entire thing.
Hopefully we get a win tonight.
I hope so too, man. Hey, I appreciate the call,
all right.
man.
Yeah, all you take care, okay?
All right, later. Yeah, I'm really just tired of hearing about KP, man. I'm really just tired of hearing about it. It's not going to change anything. Not going to change anything. We're in the situation we're in now. We would have probably been in this situation with or without KP, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? With or without KP, we would have probably been in this situation. Because the front office and the culture of the organization stinks. It stinks. It's bad. Politics, business, all this stuff that's not conducive to winning basketball games. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's popping, Sim? The World Wide West.
What's up with you, brother?
Same old, man. I'm over here. Got an off day for your podcast and everything that you do. But let's get into it, man. we're at a critical junction right now as the New York Knicks organization. We're at an incredibly critical time period. Okay, a lot of people rag on Dolan, and I think a lot of it is unfair. But this summer, he has a chance to either redeem himself or push himself further in the hole.
Yep.
And it's going to depend on what decisions he makes in the front office. So whatever decisions he makes in the front office is going to result in the next 5 to 10 years of what happens in our franchise, what pretty much happens in the careers of Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Alonzo Trier, Frank, and the young guys, okay? He cannot hire a rookie president. He has to hire somebody who's proven. He has to speak to Bob Myers. He has to speak to Jerry Colangelo. He has to speak to Masai Ujiri. He has to speak to Jerry West. Reach out to him. It's not going to hurt to reach out to him. He's got to reach out to everybody who has experience. He also cannot hire a rookie head coach. I don't want to hear the name Becky Hammond. I don't want to hear that name. I personally don't want to hear the name Mark Jackson. I'm not totally against it, but that's not my first, second, or third choice. You know, I feel like they missed the boat with that because they should have hired him instead of Fizdale. You know, they need to dig deep and figure it out. My guy, I personally feel, is Yeager, you know, but let the GM, let the president who they hire pick their coach. I'm not totally against Scott Perry, but that president is going to have to decide whether he wants to retain Scott Perry. There's got to be continuity in the front office. And you could tell, even though they put on a good face and said there was continuity in the front office, there wasn't. Because when things hit the fan, Scott Perry and Steve Mills went on the podium and threw Fizdale under the bus. If there was continuity, that would have never happened. Now, Fizdale did need to be held accountable, and his coaching was egregious, you know. And I went in the archives. There's an episode in the summertime when I called your station, and I was questioning the hire of Fizdale because I just didn't feel that he did anything other than saying, take that for data, you know, and that statement catapulted him and people galvanized around him for whatever reason, just like they're doing now. I think it's because his wife is hot and they just respect him on the strength that, yo, this dude has a hot wife and it's like a popularity thing and he's a good talker, but he was not the coach. So I digress. The main point is James Dolan, everything is on the line this summer. He has to make the right decisions so that the guys that he hires can make the right choices. We have a plethora of draft picks moving forward. I think that we can make some trades this trade period and pick up a couple more draft picks, first and second rounders. I have a feeling we're going to get rid of one of the young guys in order to get an additional draft pick or two, you know, and whoever they get has to build this team the right way. They have to have that eye for talent, you know, and the coach has to be able to really develop the players. That's my opinion. I just want to hear what you got to say about all of that.
Yeah. Well, the first thing, I mean, I think you're exactly right. This is really an important time in the Knicks history, right? It's really an important time, and James Dolan has it in his hands. He's got to make the right moves. He's got to get someone who's really experienced to run the front office. Like you said, I agree with you. Someone who knows what they're doing, and let that person really have the autonomy to make all the decisions. That's my fear of keeping Scott Perry. I'm not saying, it's not like I don't like Scott Perry, right? It's my fear is that, okay, you get rid of Steve Mills or you move him to someplace else at the Garden if that's what he's going to do. But then you keep Scott Perry there and you say to the new president, well, Scott Perry has to stay. That already undermines the new president. So like you said, it would be that the new president of basketball operations would have to say, I like Scott Perry, so I'm keeping him around. You know what I'm saying? Because if James Dolan says he has to stay, then I think you already undermine the new president and it's not going to work. You know, so
if Dolan says that, it's already downhill.
Already done.
It's already done.
Exactly. It's already done.
He's got to hire somebody and give that guy full autonomy to make decisions. And it has to be somebody who has build up moxie throughout the league, and so that if we do have 1 year of a year like this of rebuilding, that it's not phrased as us being this horrible franchise. It's looked at as us actually rebuilding, which should have been the narrative going into the season. We should have continued with the narrative that we're rebuilding instead of trying to chase stars and match and patch this team together. Because look at the Hawks; they got 2 more wins than us. The Wizards, there's so many teams that got 1 or 2 more wins than us. Yeah, we're 4-20, but they're 6-18, 5-19. But you don't hear this uproar from those fans. You don't hear this calamity because the front office has a vision and their narrative is that they're rebuilding. And I don't know why all of a sudden, like, the fans embraced the rebuild. It was the whole thing of us switching the attention to Kevin Durant and these guys and Dolan getting on the airways and giving credence to that. Because if you never, I think that rubbed free agents the wrong way too. Like, you just can't do these type of erroneous, weird things that most owners don't do. Sit in the background, hire the right people, let the chips fall where they will. Because if you put the franchise in the hands of capable and competent individuals, then it's going to yield good benefits. That's how I feel. I don't believe in a curse. There's no such thing as a curse. It's just bad decision after bad decision. You can look back, but we have to learn from the mistakes. And Dolan, I'm telling you, everything is on the line for Dolan right now, man. He could redeem himself. I think he could redeem himself.
I hope so. I hope that he can redeem himself, redeem the Knicks. He's got to make some real good decisions this summer, man. Because I agree with you, right? He's tried to bring people in, but he just hasn't. It's like he's so paranoid or something to just entrust it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's his problem. He's driven by paranoia. He's allowed the media to get to him. He grew up rich. He played the background when his dad was the man, and the Knicks was winning, and he heard the negative things that were being said. So now, like, social media and all of this coverage, he is beyond paranoid, and he allows paranoia and media scrutiny to lead him to make certain decisions.
Yeah.
A lot of times he'll make a decision because it's a certain name, not necessarily because that person is really qualified for the particular job. Like, some of the guys we ran through were good coaches, but they're good coaches to coach a certain type of roster. If you have a young roster, you need a particular type of good coach. You have a veteran roster, you need a particular type of good coach, so on and so forth. He sometimes doesn't match that. He'll just get the name instead of the guy that matches, like, his coaching record or his GM record matches what the Knicks need at that particular time. We need a builder right now. We need somebody who knows how to look and draft. And, I heard somebody say that Masai Ujiri is overrated. I heard somebody say that. I forgot who it was. It was on your chat, like one of the comments. But, I kind of, to an extent, like, I can't say I agree with him, because the team he has now is through the draft. It's, savvy scouting and everything like that. They have like, one top 10 pick on the team. You know what I mean? So that's kind of crazy. So I don't know. I don't see us getting Masai Ujiri. That he said he hates the Knicks. I don't know.
I don't see it unless he just looks at that as, he started doing something in Denver and he was recognized as a really good GM. And then, of course, he went to Toronto, made some risky moves, won the championship. Unless he looks at the Knicks as, this is the challenge that'll put me over the top. I don't think so.
Top is what? Like, what did you
just
want?
Just
to be known as the best president ever, I guess.
I don't know. Everyone has their career goals. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speculating. I don't see him coming. I don't see him coming. Join the fiasco that's the Knicks. Obviously, somebody will. I don't see him coming, but you never know, man. You never know. But hey, I appreciate your call, Wes. Appreciate you calling in, speaking some logic to us. All right, man.
All right, brother. Take it
All
easy,
right.
Tim.
All right, later. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2:54. I'm going to get out of here. Tonight, the Knicks take on the Golden State Warriors. And I'm going to quickly just run through, what I think we need to do to win the game. How we need to address this game, how we need to approach this game. And then I'm getting out of here because I got basketball practice and I got to go look at the film from last night. We got to go look at the film. All right, because this is an important one for the Knicks. We got to get off the schneid. We got to get off the schneid. You know what I'm saying? We got to get off the schneid. It's important for the confidence of the players, the confidence of the young players. Try to get us a win. Especially when you're playing a team like Golden State Warriors. I mean, we're just as bad, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. The projected starters for the night, ladies and gentlemen. For the Knicks, Frank Ntilikina, R.J. Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and Taj Gibson. For the Golden State Warriors, D'Angelo Russell, Glenn Robinson III, Eric Pascal, Draymond Green, and Willie Cauley-Stein. Eric Pascal, he may not play. He is a game time decision. Looking at the records, the Knicks are 4-20. Golden State Warriors are 5-20. All right, the Knicks are on a 10-game losing streak. The Warriors are on a 1-game losing streak, or they've lost 1 game. The Knicks average 100 points per game. They give up 111.1. They shoot 41.8% from the field, 34.7% from 3. They average 44.6 rebounds per game, 19.8 assists per game, 14.8 turnovers per game. The offensive rating is 101.3, that's 30th in the league. Their defensive rating is 112.5, that's 24th in the league. The Golden State Warriors, they average 104.6 points per game. They gave up 113.8. They average 43.1% from the field. They shoot 43.1% from the field, 33% from 3. They average 43.3 rebounds per game, 23.8 assists per game, and 15 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 103.3. That's 27th in the league. And their defensive rating is 113. That's 25th in the league. Key matchups for the night: Frank Ntilikina and D'Angelo Russell. There's not much else with the Warriors. Not too many other people there. D'Angelo Russell, 6'4", 193, averaging 22 points a game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 6.2 assists, just under 1 steal per game. Shoots 43.3% from the field and 35.2% from 3. Frank Ntilikina, fresh off of facing Damian Lillard, who lit him up last night. He's 6'7", 200 pounds. He averages 6.2 points per game, 2 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. He shoots 37.7% from the field and 33.9% from the three-point line. After facing Damian Lillard just last night, now he's got to face D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell isn't Damian Lillard, but it's still a tough matchup for Frank Ntilikina, who could be looking at a guy that might be replacing him. You never know. Keys to the game. The Knicks got to respond. Back up all the talk. They're in the second half of a back-to-back. They got to respond tonight. We've been hearing a lot of talk about they got to do this, that, and the other thing. Let's just see it happen on the floor, man. That's what I want to see. Let's not take the Warriors for granted. Because like I said earlier, this is a team that they at least have an identity. They may not have the talent to play with that identity, but they have one. And like the last caller just said, they've got consistency in the front office. They have a plan on what they're going to do. And I'm going to tell you what I think part of that plan is. Part of that plan, and although we're 2 years away, part of that plan, I believe, includes Giannis. Trust me. Don't be surprised if next year you hear the Warriors are planning to make a run at Giannis Antetokounmpo in the summer of 2021. Do not be surprised if you hear that. And if you see that they've traded D'Angelo Russell for cap space, you know what it's about. I say all that to say, these guys have a plan. They always got a plan because they got good ownership. They got a good front office. They got a good coach. They have a plan. When you have that kind of stability, you're playing, team that's on equal footing, you got the upper hand. Let's not take these guys for granted. And this got to stay disciplined. All right, whatever it is that Coach Mike Miller is trying to teach them, stay disciplined. Whatever it is he's trying to show you, just do it. You're not going anyplace anyway, so just do it. Take away role players because D'Angelo Russell is really their only threat, right? Draymond Green, he's not doing much this season. Eric Pascal, he's their second leading scorer. He may not even play. Russell's their threat, okay? Take away the role players. Let Frank Ntilikina deal with D'Angelo Russell. Score the ball. Think about making a bucket. Think about it. Take a thought before you play the game about scoring the ball. Score 100 points per game. In today's day and age, that's terrible. Terrible. Then ball movement, man. We got it. Mike Miller, even Coach Fizdale was emphasizing ball movement. Coach Fizdale emphasized ball movement, but what he did and how he taught the game, I'm not sure if it always backed it up, if it supported what he was saying. Mike Miller, I think he's trying to find ways to include more spacing. He's added some new sets to enhance ball movement and spacing. Let's see if over time it starts to play itself out. We'll see. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully the Knicks can get themselves a win tonight. Just want to get a win. All right? I'm out of here, folks. And, all these rascals, who's Mark, talk about, I didn't shout them out because of KP, this and that and this and that. Ain't about KP. I understand what the front office is. It's just, I don't give a damn about KP anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. I get it. It's about the front office. Like Emmanuel C. said, it's not about KP, it's about the front office. Right? But I get it. The front office, maybe Steve Mills. I'm not going to speak to his, who he is personally because I don't know him. I can only speak to what I see, what he's been a part of with the Knicks. But I don't give a damn about KP. Let KP be in Dallas. If he's happy there, good. If Dallas is happy with him, good. I'm happy for him. I'm worried about what we're doing now and what we are going to do going forward. That's what I'm worried about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm worried about. You know what I mean? So KP can be happy in Dallas. Who's Mark? If you want to be a Dallas fan, go be a Dallas fan. Right? Stop talking about KP now. You know what I'm saying? Why? Stop talking about it. Who cares? You said, who's Mark says you don't care because you hurt. I'm hurt because of what? How exactly does Steve Mills, if he was lying about KP, how exactly does that hurt me? How exactly does it hurt me? It doesn't hurt me at all. I don't give a damn. Steve Mills ain't paying me nothing. Neither is Kristaps Porzingis. I just want the Knicks to be better. That's all. I don't give a damn who helps them be better. I just want them to win. That's it. That's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? That's all I care about. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tonight after the game. All right? And we'll talk some more. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about this front office some more and all this stuff, man. Just another day in the world of the New York Knicks and the media and all that craziness, man. I'm out of here, folks. Have yourself a good day. I'll catch you tonight. Peace.
That's the deal.